Hello, Isaac for Poland. We are here for our last webinar for LCP applicants for generation 21-22. And this webinar are going to be about resource and basic knowledge about this. So firstly, I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm Bruna, I'm MCVP OD of MCP, and I'm also LCP last year. So I'm going to share with you a little of my learning when it comes to resource management as LCP. And then, as I mentioned, this is the agenda. We are going through basic knowledge and LCP road towards people management, TM area, finance and legalities, marketing, which is B2C responsibility, and then partnership that's related to PD. And as Richie mentioned yesterday on his webinar, I'm here to also congratulate you because you're willing to live this experience as LCP in the world's largest youth-run organization, which is Isaac. And Isaac strives for something, which is leadership development. And this leadership development that Isaac strives for happens when we facilitate, deliver, and live practical experience in challenging environments that are our exchange. But first, something really important is that you, as LCP, you need to ensure that your entity will have what is necessary for our leadership development model to happen. And we have 4 topics of this. First one, people. Second, money. Third, legalities. And fourth, market. And that's what we are going to talk about on this webinar. Then we'll start with people. So here, firstly, I will show you our Isaac for Poland membership current scenario based on engagement survey output. So based on this data, we know that 64% of our membership recommend Isaac experience. So it's more than a half that are willing to work towards, for example, recruitment and then tell people that yes, Isaac experience is nice, you should live it. But when it comes to apply for higher leadership positions, only 23% of our membership are willing to it, which means that yes, they are recommended the experience, but themselves don't want to apply for higher leadership positions. So that's a bottleneck. Also, less than a half are satisfied with their experience or achieving their goals, which means that they are not living the experience they were expecting to be living, and they are not achieving what we were expecting to achieve. And also when it comes to team standards, we implement only 47%. So less of a half of team standards are being delivered to our membership. What does it show us? That we need to improve when it comes to membership management, both on local and national level. We need to ensure that those people are living an experience that fulfill them, that makes sense to them, so they will be willing to stay in the organization and apply for leadership roles. And also, they will be satisfied with their experience because it makes sense for them. It's fulfilling and developing them. And how they are developing themselves once they are achieving their goals. So it's all connected. And I want to mention here also the importance of engagement survey, not only for MC, but mainly for local committees. So your LC receives this information from your membership, and then you can go through it and you can assess which area are having the bigger percentages and which area are having the lowest one. So you, with your VPTM, can work on this and think on different actions so you can boost your pipeline, so you can boost your team standards implementation. But we need to ensure that engagement surveys are being fulfilled, so we will get this data. Okay, but now when it comes to LCP role towards people, which are the main work fronts that you're going to have? First one is culture management. So you as LCP with your VPTM and actually with the whole AB, you are the one planning how you're going to want your culture to look like, how you want your LC to behave, what is going to be your ambitions, And then you're going to make a plan on how you're going to downscale that to your membership. You're not doing this alone as LCP, but you are the main one responsible of dreaming and planning of it. LC routine. Yes, also your LCVPs are being the ones delivering those spaces of team meetings, other structured meetings, LC meetings, but you are the one man responsible to ensure that's going to happen. Team days of their areas, team meetings of their areas, team building, everything else that's come to routine, you need to ensure that are happening. Then we have mirror board, selection and management. So yes, the process again, it's not run by you as LCP, but you need to ensure that it's happening, and not only happening, but it's happening following what you manage as a culture for your LC. So what are the behaviors that you want for your LC? So you need to ensure that those people that are going to be selected on this application are living this. And when it comes to management, you have the whole leadership order management, or having meetings with all of them, having meetings of LCP with them. So how you're going to ensure that you are also building a pipeline within this people. Then you have recruitment. Again, it's delivered by a VPTM, but you as LCP, you need to ensure that it's happening, and that is happening in a way that's fulfilling your ideal HR, and also the behaviors that you have for LC and for each one of your areas. So for example, in my experience as LCP, my VPTM, she was the one dreaming of the whole process, getting contact with universities and planning everything. And then my role was to double check with her how was our achievement of people signing up for recruitment, how was the attendance that we have in our meetings. And then I was also dreaming with her the interviews. So these are the questions that we want to have. And I was ensuring that those questions were driving what we wanted for our membership. So it's not you as LCP delivering, but it's you supporting and giving guidance to it. Then you have team standards implementation. So it's connected somehow with our civil team. So you as LCP need to deliver team standards to your EB, and also you need to ensure that the whole entity, your local committee, are also receiving team standards. So they are having building, they are having performance, and they are also having closing phases. Then you have synergy management, which means that you need to ensure that those touch points between VP TM and your VP Finance, your VP Operations, your VP PD, your VP B2C are happening. And then they are going to clear projects or clear strategies and clarity on how they are going to support each other. And then last but not least, and yet actually it's really, really important, is ensuring that your LC is engaging with engagement survey, and also that you're going to use those data. So you have, for example, percentages of people achieving their goals, and then you have clarity on each area are achieving more goals than the others. So you, with your VPTM and the VP of this area, can think on how can you solve this issue and how can you act upon this bottleneck. So when it comes to people, these are the topics that an LCP should be aware of and working towards. Then, now we're going to talk about money and legalities. So when it comes to ISAC for Poland financial standard implementation, we implement more than 80%, so it's good. But when it comes to the budget, it's the last one, and we only achieve 67%. And why? Finance standards implementation is important. So we have 6 topics when it comes to those standards. They are legality, accounting, budgeting, reporting, sustainability, and auditing. These topics and these standards, they are ensuring that you are leading your LC in a way that you are fulfilling with all their needs. So you are complying with the legalities you need to. You are having a budget, you are fulfilling it. You are acting in a sustainable way for your entity. So those topics, they ensure that you are delivering an experience to your membership, but most important, you are guiding your LC to a way that everything that when it comes to legality are being followed, and you are having these standards being delivered. They are important So you can understand that, well, this is the minimum I need to do so I can ensure that my entity are going to be healthy for next year, for more than 1 year. So they need to be there. And when it comes to some important deadlines that you as LCP must be aware of, have this relationship with ASC, so they are in charge of budget control, and then in the beginning of each month you have to deliver the budget updated to them. It's more up to your VP Finance, but you as LCP need to know about these and track this. When it comes to the relationship with BOC, you have a scan of documents that you also need to deliver in the beginning of each month. And then you have to ensure that you're delivering them the protocol of GAs this month, so September, January, and May. When it comes to MC and LC redistribution, you have this deadline, this timeline between 10 and 20 of each month. And then again, it's from your VP Finance to be follow up on this, but your role as LCP to ensure that those things are happening. And then relationship with MC, it comes to documents control that happens 3 times in a year. Now, about this LCP role towards finance part. So firstly, legalities. So you need to understand once you're LCP about local and national compendium to understand how it is, what are state there, and how you're going to follow, and how to deliver GAs. So it's also really important how you are going to comply with General Assembly's procedure in a way that you are following and fulfilling all the legalities that you must do. And also, when it comes to BOC, MSC, and ASC relationship, you need to remember that you are the one representing your LC. So you need to take care of this relationship. Even, for example, in the case of ASC, that probably VP Finance will be the one more in touch. You need to ensure that this relationship is going good, and then everything that's concerned about your LC is being delivered. When it comes to national representation, it's more about national GAs when you are not there as yourself, but you are as a representative of your LC. So now you need to think on your entity and how your entity is contributing to the national plenary. And this is really, really important for you to have this knowledge of our whole national scenario when it comes to bottlenecks, when it comes to issues, when it comes to deliverables. So you're going to represent your LC and not only what you're thinking. Also, budget tracking. Your VP Finance will be the one responsible for updating and planning, but you need to know how's budget, like which percentage of each area are going to be invested for, or which percentage each area are contributing for your cash flow. You need to be aware of this, and also you need to ensure that your VP Finance are fulfilling and tracking and updating this budget. Also, finance standards implementation, so your role as LCP is to ensure that they are being compliant. And now again, synergy management. So you need to ensure that synergies are happening. So your VP Finance and the other VPs are having their meetings and having their goals together. Okay. Now we're going to talk about market. So I'm going through LCP role when it comes to market. And then you have these 4 topics. So representation. So you are the one that's the face of your LC. So once you have a meeting with a university, with a big partner, can be a company, can be an NGO, you are the one that's there as a president of your local committee. So you represent it. Then you also are responsible for relationship management. So yes, your VPPGC are the ones going to keep in touch with universities. Your VPPD are going to be in touch with companies, but you need to know how those relationships are. If there's something that you need to do and act upon, or if not, but you need to at least be aware of everything. Also, when it comes to market consolidation and expansion, it's your duty as LCP to know which is your market. So if you are working with OGV, which universities or which courses are you working the most? Okay, you have clarity on it, but maybe it's not fulfilling your ambition. So, okay, how can we expand? And then you are think of it with your VP B2C or with your VP PD, once you don't have a VP B2C. they are going to be the ones thinking of those strategies and deliver them, but you need to be aware of which is your market. And then again, synergies management, you need to ensure that they are happy. And then the most important thing when it comes to market and LCP role is that you need to understand B2C and PD job descriptions, because they are not the same. They are different VPs with different responsibilities within their role and within their synergies. So going through VPPD, this VP, they have like as the biggest MOS sales plan achievement. So these VP are going to support mostly ICX and IDT, because they work mostly with companies. Of course, they are going to work too with Carly Days or Youth Speak Survey and also Employee of the Year. But then, most important, you need to support your operations. So VPPD works with sales, and these are connected with ICX. And then, when we are working with VP B2C, they are the one responsible for activities that are going to be for EPs. So people that are thinking on traveling aboard with Isaac, VP B2C are the one thinking and delivering those activities when it comes to attraction of them. And they are supporting VP OJX. So you need to have clarity how you're going to work with these two VPs. So they have clarity on which are their responsibilities. For example, VPBT are going to work with indications and are going to work with trainings, but also going to work with support ICX. And your VPB2C are going to work with relationship universities and then also support OJEX. So your role as SCP is to understand their DD and to make sure they are going to be fulfilled, because this is the one of the biggest bottlenecks that we have today. Those JGs, they are being combined or they are being mixed up, and sometimes you don't know anymore what is a B2C responsibility and what is a PD responsibility, and your role as LCP is to ensure that you are fulfilling that. So that's why it's important to have both of them in a local level if your pipeline and your structures permits. So you go through it. So they are both really, really important for the sustainability and for your market insurance of your entity. Then these are the main topics I wanted to go through it with you. So we talked about people management, finance and legalities, marketing and partnership. And my last messages to you is LCP in the end is the MCVP and MCVP OD combined of his entity. What I want to say with this, once you are MCP of your entity, it means that you're going to lead your team. You're going to deliver team standards to them. You're going to plan your ambition, your projects, and how you're going to track and ensure that everything is happening. And once you're MCVP OD, you're having this bigger view of everything that's going on. And your role is to connect VPs, connect areas in order to improve. For example, if your OGV area are facing a lot of skips, then you need to have a conversation between your VP OGV, your VP TM, and then together you think what we need to do so we can cover those skips and ensure that you are going to have performance, ensure that you are going to have pipeline, and ensure that those members are having a good experience. Together, you are going to think. You are not going to be the one deliver, for example, a new recruitment or deliver a team meeting. No, you are going to ensure that your VPs are thinking together how to solve those bottlenecks. That's why you are MCVPOD, because you are looking to the whole scenarios. You are tracking them. You are thinking on how they are achieving their goals. And if they're not, how can you support them? And how can you make them work together to overcome this? And you are MCP because you led your team and you also represent your entity. So remember, you are one of the biggest roles that you have an MC together for your entity. So it's a role with a big responsibility, but also it's really, really grateful to be an LCP. So here I have also the JD of LCP. So you can see that you have a lot of topics all together. So you have, for example, ensure numbers of openings, ensuring numbers of approvals. It also comes to finance standards implementation, team standards implementation. So you are the one responsible for that everything is happening. Again, you need to ensure that those things are happening. You don't need to do them. That's your role as LCP, to guide your VPs to do stuff, to improve those stuff. It's not your role to do it. It's your role to lead them. And here you have some main functions, and again, is to show you that you have to work for all different areas. So you need to ensure goals fulfillment, you need to enable education of EB, financial sustainability, implementation of ESG strategies, and then you have all this part of accountability too. So these are one of the main functions of it comes to LCP. So thank you for watching this small webinar. My objective here was to go through, okay, now you are LCP, which are the basic things that you need to know about those resources, so about TM, about people, about money, about legalities, about marketing. So thank you so much for watching. I hope it was helpful. If you have any question, you can send it to me, or you can also ask on the group or the spreadsheet that we have for question and answers. And I wish you an amazing application process and can't wait to see you on Generation 21-22. Bye.